Internet will be the sole cause for transformation of entire business. So every pricing methodology, every single concept that goes into this ideology of setting the online, that will get some return to you in the long run. You are able to combine your strength, you're able to combine your prowess all together of knowledge and trying to bring in an extra modulation, an extra process. Good morning and welcome to the third session in Unit 5 in Business Environment, where we're going to talk about the e-business and mobile commerce. What is more interesting than talking anything about your mobile phone and the business out of it? Now, that is the real factor that is driving today. Business is no more physical, but business is going all digital. Let's look into it. Now, introduction to this factor requires actually a very deep understanding. Why? Because the online business or the e-business is any kind of business that is considered to be done over the internet. Now, this is very important. Why? Because some years back, when Bill Gates was trying to write a book saying that speed at, business at the speed of light, when he was trying to talk about the transformation at the speed of light, he mentioned the word internet. Internet will be the sole cause for transformation of entire business. He had gone back and wrote about this book long time, saying that the business will change because of internet. The way, the modulation, the reach, the factors of speed, everything will come because of internet. There was a time when people used to write letters. People used to spend time in choosing the word, in selecting the acronyms, in putting across your salutations and then the different factors. Today, you don't have to do any of them. All you have to do is open up your email and just type in few words and just click on the button send. In next moment, at the flash of a minute, it is there. Which means to say that technology has completely changed business. Technology has made you to understand today that business can be completely changed. Business can be completely revolted in a different manner altogether. And that's what you are being able to see here. You are able to see that the business is now trying to completely shrink into one single network, into one single place, and that's your mobile phone. So that's where you see that any kind of business can be just shrunk into one simple activity and e-business can be transformed. So moving forward, let's look into the business model. Now look here, what is happening is that there is a customer who places the order. It moves into an online store through which the products are being collected. It then moves to the payment mode. From the payment, it's the packaging, from the delivery straight to the hands of the customer. Look at the process that is being made so simple. Customer sitting at his home, he does not even know who is the logistic provider, who is going to deliver the product, who owns the product. We don't want to know it. The customer only wants to know that when the product will be delivered to my home. So all I need to understand here is that the balance between the strategy adapted business model with the help of technology that can make me reach heights in business. So what is the customer exactly doing here is that he just wants the product to be delivered to his home at a particular time, at a particular destination, and he's not sticking back. He's just going forward in terms of getting it done as soon as possible, and it's working out for him in terms of the business model. So this is where you see the fantastic adaptation of business coming into picture. You are able to combine your strength, you're able to combine your prowess all together of knowledge and trying to bring in an extra modulation, an extra process altogether. Now, moving forward, I would also like to talk about the revenue model for some time. Why? Because the key component of any business is the revenue model or the profit model. So this is a kind of framework for generating revenues. It's going to identify which source of revenue to pursue, what does the value offer, at what price we are offering, and who pays it for it. Because every time on an online basis, you think that it is only the customer, it's only a process altogether. But then the real value that is going to be paid in terms of the online business is entirely different. It is not that so easy as what you and me have understood. So what we need to understand is that who is the key source of revenue generation? Is it only the customer? Is it the people who are involved in this process? Are the sellers also a key process? So there are different parameters and forces that you need to understand before you start setting into the revenue model. So every pricing methodology, every single concept that goes into this ideology of setting the online, that will get some return to you in the long run. So without a well-defined revenue model, the clear plan, the growth of the company is not possible. See, for example, let's look into PhonePe or Paytm or any of these kind of online players like MobiCash, EasyBix and all those kind of things. When they started this business, their ideology was that how am I going to earn the revenue? And they understood the process. It is not just the customers who are going to pay money. The customers are not going to pay money to Paytm. The customers are going to use the app called Paytm and pay it to the vendor. But what is Paytm going to earn is that Paytm is going to earn revenue from both sides, one on the usage, one on the service model. So somewhere down the lane, what is very important is that your clear-cut revenue path, how are you going to get success in terms of generating the revenue? That is very, very important. That is what will make you stick on to the procedure that yes, you are able to generate a far-fetched revenue, a built-in revenue altogether. So that is why I would always say that this is very, very important in terms of generating, in terms of sustaining the revenue growth altogether. Now, moving forward, let me also talk about this important concept called as e-commerce. E-commerce is the short form for electronic commerce. What is this electronic commerce? It is used in trading of product and services, which is very much important. And such as the electronic commerce is actually setting up a marketplace through which you can interact, you can talk and take it forward altogether. So this is going to be the most interactive platform that I can ever talk about in terms of business, because what happens in this methodology is that you will be able to see that you are trying to connect to millions of people in a very short while and trying to take the business to the next level as far as possible. So this is going to be a very, very interactive platform through which you will be able to see the growth and you will be able to see the life cycle of the product coming through it, such as emailing, getting the customer's notice, getting the tags completely, what are the preferences, what is the catalog, how we need to build it, what is exactly the customer is looking into, where we can look into differential prospects, what are all the new aspects that we are talking about. All those features can come into e-commerce. E-commerce is basically a very inbuilt platform that will try to create a holistic marketplace where you can see hundreds and thousands of customers, the like-minded people coming into picture. Followed by some of the challenges that we are facing today in the e-commerce. The first thing is security. How secured is your transaction today? Because every time there is a data theft, there is a question about how the data is secured, what kind of tools, what kind of ideologies or securities that you have to protect the identity, the privacy and confidentiality. Is it really safe enough to maintain your data from this particular aspect? Is it an authentic website? Can I trust that website altogether? Followed by the data integrity. Now, when you look into websites like cardekho.com or when you start looking into cars24.com, all this kind of things are where you would start seeing that people have gone to the extent of protecting the millions and millions of customers' data so that they can able to create a trust in the mind of the customers, and they will be able to tell whatever data that is fed into the website, it is not going to be stolen away or it is not going to be given out for free, because every single data that is collected by the customer, from the customer, needs to be protected, needs to be made understood that it's only for the business purpose and not for tampering with it. So non-repudiation, not getting into any kind of factors that will create a tampering factor, and the access control. Now, everybody cannot get into the admin role of the website. The administrator has a block over this and they don't allow everybody to access every section. Only what is needed, that is going to be projected from the consumer side in terms of the e-commerce. Now, the advantages of an e-commerce is that it is an easy to set up, because you don't have to spend hundreds and thousands of money or probably millions of rupees in terms of setting up an office and getting the infrastructure, paying huge amount of money in rent, hiring people and all those kind of things. All you have to do is that you can just start your business right out of your laptop, followed by flexible business hours. Now, what is going to happen is that you are going to reduce time in commuting to your office. You are going to have your own time of operation because the internet is open 24/7. So whenever you want to interact into the business, internet is always there. It will show you a lot of flexibility, followed by a cheaper traditional business altogether. Now, what is that is going to be is that rather than the cost that is being involved here, we are going to involve in terms of growth, in terms of business altogether, and we will be able to take it forward in terms of the different factors. So this is going to be a very, very interesting factor for all of us in terms of developing the business, followed by the no geographical boundaries. You're not going to limit yourself to Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad or Delhi or any place. The world is your limit. Sky is your limit. You can traverse across any part of the globe. You can reach anybody within minutes of time. So that's where you will be able to see that the boundaries are completely taken off from the business. Second thing, the government subsidies. Digitalization is very, very encouraged by very much encouraged by the government. And today with after the pandemic scenario, everything is going online. So probably the government of India and every single government is trying to give you a lot of push towards going online. So this is going to be a very, very new and an emerging trend, a promising trend for you in terms of building up the business. The disadvantage is that the lack of personal touch. Of course, yes, you cannot see your customers physically, neither you will be able to serve them physically. The personal contact, the emotional touch of talking to your customers, making them understand, making them feel that this is something good, this is something bad. So that will not be there, followed by the delivery time altogether. The traditional business enables instant satisfaction, as you are going to talk about it, followed by the factor that while in electronic business this is not possible, this will be always a waiting period before you start receiving it. Now, for example, Amazon assures 1-day delivery, but it does not resolve the issue completely. Why? Because if I want a product today itself, right now, I might not be able to get it. I need to wait for some time. I need to wait at least 24 hours to get this particular product in my hand. And all certain, then I'm not going to touch the product. I'm not going to feel the product. I'm not going to get that, the appeal altogether, but I'm just going to have a visual look and I'm going to order it. And this is going to take 24 hours to reach my table, followed by the security issues which are coming up in the modern days. There can be scam where I can hack your credit card. I can hack your details, your password, by which you are going to lose your identity. There can be a theft of data. So all those things are going to create yet more difficulty to the online business. With this, I come to the end of this session. I hope and believe that the session was highly interesting, useful, and of a great resource to you. In the upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about the different formats of the emerging trends in business environment. Until then, stay tuned, stay enlightened, and stay blessed forever. Thank you once again for joining me on this wonderful session today.